The crowd ridiculed her appearance, claiming her gown resembled something crafted from dining room fabric. As they shamed her for attempting to purchase artwork, declaring she lacked the means to participate in bidding, they remained unaware of the truth. She was the creator of the very masterpieces they were desperately competing to own. The Gustad auction house stood like a monument to prosperity, tucked away in the Swiss mountains, its transparent facades mirroring the snow-covered summits beneath the winter atmosphere. Within its walls, the atmosphere vibrated with influence. Wealthy elites, nobility, and art industry giants had assembled for an exclusive private auction. Every artwork carried a price tag exceeding $10 million. Ornate light fixtures scattered rainbow patterns across the polished stone flooring, while servers moved gracefully carrying sparkling wine to guests adorned in custom formal wear and jewelry encrusted with precious stones. The assembly murmured famous names: Warhol, Basquiat, and whispers of a possible Monet. However, the focal point remained an anonymous painting, Veil of Dawn, featuring swirling azure and golden tones that appeared alive, with its $20 million valuation circulating among the wealthy attendees. Lena Darrow entered through the doorway, bypassing security personnel who were verifying QR-coded invitations. Her cream-colored sleeveless dress was elegant yet understated, its gentle material flowing around her silhouette like a whisper. Cosmetics hadn't touched her features, and no accessories decorated her throat or arms. At 31 years old, Lena possessed an understated elegance. Dark hair loosely arranged, amber eyes filled with untold narratives, a demeanor that didn't seek notice but commanded it once observed. She held only a small bidding paddle bearing her name in simple lettering. Her footsteps made, no sound on the marble surface, her attention directed forward, treating the room's luxury as mere scenery. She stopped in front of Veil of Dawn, the featured canvas, its pigments drawing her gaze. Her expression didn't flicker like that of a buyer calculating worth. Instead, she studied it intently, examining each brushstroke as though recognizing a dear companion. Initially, the crowd barely acknowledged her presence, their conversations a quiet murmur of transactions and boasting. Then a gentleman approached her, Hugo Reinhardt, a German business magnate worth $5 billion, his attire as cutting as his arrogant expression. "Darling," he declared loudly enough for surrounding guests to notice, "individuals like yourself should be watching the online stream, not occupying this space." His amusement was sharp, slicing through the atmosphere. Lena's mouth curved slightly upward, yet she remained silent, her focus still on the artwork. A lady draped in green silk glided past, Baroness Celeste Vaughan, French aristocrat with personal aircraft and an even more cutting wit. She halted, raising her device to capture a photograph with the painting. "You're obstructing my photograph, dear," she declared sharply, her pronunciation precise. "Move away before I summon security." Her companions, two ladies wearing fur wraps, chuckled, with one whispering, "Does she believe this is some free museum visit?" Lena retreated, her gestures composed, never breaking her gaze from the painting. The Baroness's camera flashed, her social media caption already forming in her mind. Art that only the sophisticated can appreciate. As Lena remained near Veil of Dawn, a cluster of collectors in tailored suits and sparkling gowns created a circle of mockery around her. "Has she lost her way?" sneered a woman called Ingrid Falk, her sapphire jewelry catching the light. "This establishment isn't a discount art venue, sweetie." A gentleman, Victor Lang, chuckled. "I wager she's here to clean the picture frames." Their comments echoed, generating laughter from others taking photographs. "Step aside, commoner," someone yelled, gesturing dismissively. Lena's attention remained fixed on the canvas, peaceful, though their harassment stung, entertainment for the privileged class. The verbal attacks intensified as Lena stood there, a solitary figure against the painting's luminescence. A technology entrepreneur, Ethan Caldwell, whispered to his companion, model Sasha Lynn. "Observe her outfit," he mocked, his voice audible to others. "Bargain bin elegance, probably from a second-hand shop." Sasha laughed, her diamonds sparkling. "She's only here for complimentary beverages, correct?" A nearby art dealer, Clara Novak, overheard and added, "Or to sketch it for her online craft store." Their amusement spread, drawing attention to Lena's dress, her exposed shoulders, her stillness. She didn't react, though her grip on her paddle tightened momentarily, the sole indication of pressure. Lena took a seat in the back row as the auction commenced, her paddle resting on her knees. The room buzzed with bidders in velvet and silk, their prosperity a silent declaration. The opening item, a Picasso drawing, sold for $12 million. A Rothko piece followed at $18 million. Then Veil of Dawn was presented, and tension filled the air. Beginning at $10 million, the auctioneer, a distinguished man named Julian Morrow, held his gavel ready. Arms raised immediately. Hugo's, Celeste's, a Saudi prince named Khalid al-Rashid. Offers escalated rapidly. 12 million, 15 million, 18 million. Lena sat quietly, her expression serene, observing the chaos. As Lena settled into her chair, an auction employee in a pressed vest approached, speaking loud enough for nearby sections to hear. "Madam, seating isn't unrestricted," he stated with a smirk. "You're not on our premium guest registry. Perhaps try the entrance hall." Attendees listened, snickering as another staff member commented, "She's likely trying to get a free preview." Their ridicule echoed, heads turning to stare at Lena's modest gown. She remained seated calmly, paddle in hand, her composure unbroken, though the staff's contempt marked her as an unwelcome intruder. Then she lifted her paddle. The room paused momentarily before erupting in laughter. "Oh my, the impoverished girl believes she can participate," Sasha Lynn announced, her tone dripping with false sweetness. Ethan grinned, calling out, "How charming, fantasizing in millions with nothing in her wallet." Clara Novak leaned closer, her pearls rattling. "Save yourself the embarrassment, honey. This isn't a charity drawing." The Baroness cooled herself with her fan, muttering, "She's making a spectacle of herself." Even Khalid chuckled, his golden cufflinks gleaming as he waved dismissively. Lena's paddle remained raised steadily, her hazel eyes focused on the auctioneer. When Lena raised her paddle, a bidder named Sophia Grant, adorned with rubies, turned abruptly. "You must be kidding," she scoffed, her voice cutting through the air. "That paddle isn't a plaything, girl. Stay with coloring books." Others joined in, a man shouting, "She's disrespecting the artwork with that bid." Their laughter roared, phones capturing Lena's unwavering hand. "Remove her," Sophia hissed, signaling to security. Lena's gaze stayed forward, calm, while the crowd's hostility surged like an angry mob attacking her resolve. The laughter grew louder, a merciless wave, as phones appeared to record the spectacle. As Lena's bid drew ridicule, Diana Voss pulled out her device, posting to thousands of followers. "Unknown woman in shabby dress disrupts Gustad auction, thinks she's a serious bidder." Responses poured in. "Delusional. Escort her out." A nearby guest live-streamed, narrating, "Someone's embarrassing herself here." Hashtags like #AuctionFail surged. Memes ridiculing Lena's gown became global trends. She sat motionless, paddle gleaming, her silence serving as protection while the digital tempest raged, destroying her reputation worldwide. Julian hesitated, his forehead creasing as he consulted his tablet. The bids reached 20 million, Hugo's most recent increase. Lena raised her paddle once more, the laughter becoming sharper, more venomous. She's completely unrealistic, hissed Marcus Tate, a hedge fund manager, his date snorting with amusement. What comes next? Paying with play money? Sasha's voice carried across the room. Security, please escort her out. She's ridiculing the artwork. The crowd agreed, their entertainment transforming into contempt. Lena's face remained unchanged, but her paddle gleamed beneath the crystal lighting, unwavering. The ridicule continued. A woman in sapphire silk, art critic Diana Voss, turned to her companion, speaking loudly enough for everyone to hear. She's probably some internet blogger pretending for attention, she commented, tapping her pen on her notepad. That dress screams borrowed from someone else. Pitiful, Marcus added. I bet she's never encountered $1 million, much less bid it. Their words flew like projectiles as guests craned their necks to observe Lena, her simplicity appearing criminal in their perception. She sat straighter, her quiet demeanor speaking louder than their noise, though the room's disdain weighed heavily upon her. Julian's gavel froze mid-air. He pressed his earpiece, his complexion growing pale. The room quieted, sensing a change. Ladies and gentlemen, he announced, his voice shaking, I've just received a private communication from the artist herself. She requests to permanently remove Veil of Dawn from the essay. Sharp intakes of breath echoed off the marble walls. Hugo's hand fell. Celeste's fan stopped moving. The lighting dimmed, and a single beam illuminated Lena in soft golden light. She rose, her gown catching the glow, and approached the front, each step intentional. The crowd fell silent. Their laughter died in their throats. Lena reached the podium, her voice steady but clear, piercing the shocked silence. I am Lena Darrow, she declared, her hazel eyes scanning the room. I created Veil of Dawn. I painted it in the storage room of a homeless shelter using paint I couldn't purchase and canvas given by a retired educator. She paused, allowing the words to penetrate. You just offered $20 million for it, but I've repurchased it for €1. Whispers erupted, disbelief spreading. Hugo's face flushed red. Celeste grasped her pearls tightly. Lena displayed the authenticity certificate, its edges sharp, and tore it in two. The sound resonated like a gunshot. Beginning today, she stated, I refuse to sell my artwork to people who display it merely to showcase their wealth. Her voice remained steady, not raised, yet it carried authority that silenced every whisper. My 42 pieces will be exhibited freely forever at the children's home where I was raised. The room became a cemetery of wounded pride. Ethan's smirk disappeared. Sasha's phone dropped to her lap. Clara's jaw clenched, her pearls suddenly appearing gaudy. Lena stepped back from the podium, her gown flowing, and walked past Veil of Dawn without a backward glance. The spotlight tracked her to the exit, where she paused, turning slightly. Art isn't a monetary label, she said gently. It's a heartbeat. Then she departed, the glass doors closing soundlessly behind her. By dawn, the world had erupted. Headlines screamed across continents. The woman they ridiculed is the genius they cannot afford. The Guardian. Lena Darrow shatters the billionaire art market. Hidden artist emerges. The photograph of Lena beneath the spotlight, gown luminous, eyes fierce, became viral, shared millions of times. Social media posts declared, she defeated them without conflict. Lena Darrow embodies art itself. Her biography flooded the internet. Raised in a Marseille orphanage, self-educated, painting secretly for years. Her works sold anonymously through a mentor who passed away the previous spring. Veil of Dawn became legendary overnight. Art scholars analyzed its complexity, sorrow, optimism, rebellion woven into every stroke. Critics exposed Lena's other creations, previously purchased in shadows. A canvas in a Dubai sheikh's vault, another in a London museum, a third reportedly hanging in a Japanese tech mogul's office. All became invaluable, their worth unlimited by her refusal to sell. Museums pleaded for loans. Collectors presented blank checks. Lena remained silent. Her orphanage in Marseille announced a free gallery opening in months, funded by donors inspired by her stance. The elite who had mocked her were silenced. Hugo Reinhardt's company faced a public relations disaster. His live stream comment replayed endlessly online. Celeste Vaughn's latest gala failed miserably, her reputation tied to elitist cruelty. Ethan and Sasha's social standing plummeted. Users labeled them artless bullies. Clara Novak's gallery lost clientele, her snobbery exposed. Marcus Tate's hedge fund suffered, his play money joke becoming a meme of his downfall. Diana Voss's next review was ignored, her credibility destroyed. None apologized. None dared. Hugo Reinhardt's mockery destroyed him. Days later, his company's stock crashed as clients abandoned him, citing his disgraceful auction behavior. Social media roasted him. Billionaire bully loses billions after mocking artist. At a Berlin summit, colleagues shunned him, whispering, he ridiculed Lena Darrow. His art collection, once his pride, was quietly liquidated. Lena's spotlight burned brighter, her silence more powerful than his ruin. The man who had sneered became a warning to others. Celeste Vaughn's downfall was rapid. Her security threat against Lena sparked public outrage. Elite event invitations disappeared, her name blacklisted. At a Paris ball, guests avoided her, murmuring, she insulted the artist. Her social media, once a status symbol, hemorrhaged followers as #cancel Celeste trended. Her private jet remained grounded, her influence reduced to nothing. Lena's free gallery attracted millions, while Celeste begged for relevance. Lena's silence served as her weapon. She didn't file lawsuits or gloat. Journalists camped outside the orphanage, but she remained inside, painting with the children. A blurry photograph leaked of her in casual clothes, laughing, brush in hand. It trended harder than the auction image. Art Forum featured her on their cover. Lena Darrow, the artist who redefined value. The article noted her work's anonymous sales to royalty and tech giants. Even the Louvre owned one, purchased sight unseen. Her identity, once mysterious, now served as an inspiration. The Marseille gallery opened to crowds stretching for miles. Veil of Dawn hung at the entrance, unframed, its colors raw. Visitors wept, left messages. You showed them. Thank you for sharing this with us. Lena didn't attend the opening. She was teaching a class, her hands stained with paint. Her 42 works drew millions of visitors, from school children to academics, all free as promised. Rumors circulated that a monarch had offered $1 billion for a single canvas. Lena politely declined. Hugo attempted to visit, checkbook ready. Security denied him entry on Lena's orders. Celeste mailed a letter requesting a private viewing. It went unanswered. Ethan posted a vague art appreciation message. It was overwhelmed with negative responses. Sasha's modeling contracts vanished, her followers gone. Clara's gallery closed, her reputation toxic. Diana pitched a book about Lena. Publishers declined. The elite now stood behind velvet barriers, peering at Lena's art through glass, their wealth meaningless. Lena continued painting, her new work staying off the market, shared only with the orphanage children. When asked why she tore the certificate, she replied, "It wasn't mine to possess. It belonged to them. The people who observe it, feel it." Her hazel eyes flickered not with anger, but with peace. The world labeled her a genius, a revolutionary, a saint. She called herself nothing special, just Lena, brush in hand. Her art became priceless, not for its cost, but for its authenticity. A canvas appeared at a New York auction, sold years before Lena's fame, fetching $500 million from an anonymous buyer, perhaps royalty, perhaps a programmer. No one knew. Lena didn't care. Her Marseille gallery expanded, with a second planned in Sao Paulo. Children painted alongside her, their laughter more resonant than any gavel. The elite who had laughed stood humbled, their names fading as Lena's grew brighter. She didn't need their millions, their approval, their world. She had created her own, one brushstroke, one truth at a time. Veil of Dawn hung freely, its blues and golds reflecting anyone who looked upon it. Lena passed it daily, her steps light, her heart intent. She had transformed their laughter into silence, their wealth into dust. The story that moved you deserves to be shared, liked, commented on, and followed for more inspiring tales.